Hello guys, welcome back. This is the rest of the episode for writing a very small object-oriented program. If you haven't watched the first part, go ahead and do. And yeah, hope you will enjoy it. Take care and don't forget, show the love. And this is what I want. I don't want the user to change the speed directly, only through these functions. Of course, I can also define a set if I want to, so that the user can also set a value to it, but for this car, I don't. So, after I have increased the speed, I'm going to say that label 1, okay, this is what I defined here, label 1, okay, dot text is a property. As you can see, it is get and set. It means that it gets or sets the text associated with this control. So if I write something in it, like car1.speed, it will put whatever value is on this side into this property, and this property is designed to show me here whatever is in that property. As you can see, label 1 dot text right now is label 1, and I change it to, for example, not available. Now you can see this one has changed here. And I can also do the same with the button. I changed the text before to increase, and this has changed. All of these things are the properties associated with the object here. So for example, if I change forecolor, as you can see, the text color here has changed, okay? And or for example, I can change the back color, okay? No, that didn't show very much. For example, here, I can change the back color. I can change also an image. I can add an image to it, okay? And I don't think that I have any kind of images right now available to me to add, but whatever, I can show also an image in this button. There are a lot of properties that you have access to. I highly suggest that you go play with it so that you can see whatever these things do, okay? Because there are a lot of things that can change right now. For example, I can change where the text align is. There are a lot of things here, as you can see, and you should try to work a little bit on it. I'm going to tell you about this one by one, what each does, because there are things like this. Alignment, okay, and the layout, which help a lot to reduce clutter in your forms and also tidy up a little bit. But yeah. Let's see how what the program will do right now. So basically, let's make a very fast recap. I defined the class car. It has a speed which I don't have access to. This speed is with the lowercase and this speed is with the uppercase. And as I told you, in C#, uppercase and lowercase are different. So I have a speed that doesn't give the access to the user because I have defined it as private, because if you remember, if I don't write anything, it's defined as private. Then I have a property which returns a string and it says the current speed is something like this. Then I have the function increase speed and I have the function decrease speed. And these two functions are also available to the user. So right now, whenever the button is clicked, the speed of the car will be increased, okay? And whatever the new speed is will be put into the text, okay? Let's run the program. But before we do, there might be an error. I know that. I'm not so sure if you know. If you know, it means that you have understood every concept up to now very good. If not, then maybe you should tell me where I didn't explain it very good, why you don't know it, and maybe I can explain it a little bit more. But when I do it, probably I will get an error right now. Oh, actually I don't. Okay, I thought that I would get an error because I didn't give an initial value to the speed. It doesn't know when to start, but it seems that it assumes it was 0. So if I put 0 here as the initial value, when I create car here and I increase it, so the first value is 0 and it will be increased by 1. So the current speed is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as you can see, it works. If I put this, for example, at 10, so if I increase the speed, it must show me 11 right now. And it does, okay? It increases the speed. So it seems to be working very beautifully. If I put this like 0.05, okay, then I increase it. It increases by 1, okay? But why? Oh, it doesn't work. It has an error. Cannot convert double to float. Okay, so this should be a double then, if it has a point. Okay, I thought with float it will work. Odd. Okay. I need to also stop this from running whenever it has an error. This is a bad thing, that whenever it has an error, it just runs the last program that was there. And this is not something good. I don't like this. Okay, prompt to build. No, launch old version, I do not launch. Okay, this is unrun. When build or deployment error occurs, do not launch. This is what I want. Okay, and I want it to always build. For new solutions, use the correct standard as the startup project. Okay. Currently select the project as a startup project. I don't know what it is. Okay, so right now with 0.05, it should be right now 10.5 then. Yes, as you can see, this works beautifully. Okay, and of course, I want also to have a decrease. So I'm going to add another button. Okay. As you can see, here I have the problem that this doesn't look like this. I can copy paste this, of course, but there is a thing that you need to pay attention to, that if you copy paste, it is quite possible that also the events will be copied. Okay, this was like this in Visual Basic. Okay, I'm not so sure about C#. But let's see. I'm going to change this to decrease. I'm going to change the name to B decrease. And again, the name is important because I will have access to the name. I need to have access to the name in the codes. Okay, so this name here was label 1. That's why here I had to write label 1.text. Okay, but if I change this to label current speed, okay, now in the code I have to access this with L underline current speed. Okay, so I'm going to also add click to decrease speed. Okay, let's see in the designer what happened here. No, they are different. Okay, as you can see, B decrease click is B decrease that click is assigned to B decrease underline clicked, and B increase that click is assigned to button 1 underline click. Okay, so you can with very good conscience could just copy paste without any worries. So here in the decrease, I have to decrease speed by 0.05. Now, some people might say that I didn't need to actually define this decrease speed. Instead of writing this decrease speed, I could increase speed by minus 0.5, and it would work the same. And actually it does. Okay, so in order to prevent that, we might put a check here that if the amount is not positive, it will return an error. If the amount is negative, it will return an error. And we will actually do that. We will see that we can do that with the throw. Okay, I can actually throw an error. But we will do that later. Okay, right now I'm gonna assume that we are going to honor the value of this, okay? So I'm going to decrease speed by 0.5. I'm going to increase speed by 0.05. I'm going to decrease speed by 1. Okay, let's see how this works. Okay, increase, decrease. Okay, as you can see, this is a car which is giving gas. Okay, and which is kind of just going back and forth. Okay, now what we can also do is we can add another value to here. It's going to be distance. Okay, the distance is how far the car has gone. Okay, now what we can do is either I can, for example, add another button which is like a tick button. Whenever I click that, okay, it is a new second has passed, a new time frame has passed, okay? So I can do that. And I will name this +1 time, okay? And I'm going to add a label which shows me the current time, okay? So I have here I'm going to name this label time, okay? And I'm going to name this button time frame. Time increase, maybe. This is a good one, okay? So now whenever the time increases, okay, the distance has to be recalculated, okay? So I'm going to add here public void, okay, time lapsed, okay, which means that a new time frame has been increased. Then I have to say that the distance is then the last distance plus the speed, okay? So the distance value will be refreshed, okay? Then I have to define public string again, distance, okay? Then I have the get, and here I have the return, the current distance is n plus distance, okay? So with this, every time I increase the time, I have to time lapse the car. So car1 dot time lapsed. Okay. Okay, it's a function, of course. Okay, and then I have to reset the value of distance. Oh, L time will be then. I need then two values. I need two labels. What? What's the problem? Is the problem that I deleted that function? Is that the problem? Yeah, that was the problem. Okay. So here, this one is current speed. Okay. And I need another one. Of course. Okay. For the distance. Okay. So this will be L distance. Okay. Lovely. Good. Now when I increase the time, I want the time to increase. Of course, I need to also define a time to know what time we are on. So every time time lapsed happens, I'm going to have time plus 1. Okay. The time should also be increased. Actually, in C#, it's better to write it like this, that the time increases one time. And of course, I need another property, public. This can be an integer. Actually, we don't need it to be a double for time, because time is going to be just values. Public int time get return time. Does this work? No, it doesn't. It requires. Does this work? No, it doesn't. I have to write this. For get, it seems that it's not possible to write it without this, as I call it, eyebrows. So, of course, no, sorry, this will be a string. This will be a string, and here it will be the current time is plus. Okay. So then here, when the time increases, I want to have a time lapse, car1.timelapse. Okay. Then I have to refresh the values of the labels. So I have lf time dot text equals car1.time. Okay. Or I could actually also make it a little bit. Sorry, this is not the method. I could also make this like a returning function, which has a time, and just put it. I could also make it like this, for example, that I make not void. I make this as integer, and then I return time here. This makes one line. I have to use one line less. Okay, I will just put this one here. Okay, but actually no, this will be a little bit problematic, because this is going to just return the bare time. I don't want the bare time to be returned. I can return here the big time then. Should be alright. I'm going to have then string here. You can return the big time here, and I put just this here. This is just, this depends on you, on how you want to write the code. And then I'm going to have l.distance.text is then car1.distance. Okay. Now if I run the program, okay, I can increase the speed or decrease the speed. I will leave that at 10, okay. Then I have a time lapse, okay. The distance, I just went 1 second in the future, and the distance is now 10.5. And if I increase the time, it was increased again by 10.5. If I decrease the speed, for example, to 0.5, okay, then if I go 1 second further, I have now 21.5. Okay, so I can actually see how this furthers and how this goes. Okay, you can also make negative values. Okay, and then the distance decreases actually. Okay, so this is a pretty nifty car. Okay, and we can show different things on it. Of course, if I want some kind of visual representation, I have some things available to me. Okay, and we can use those for visual representation, or we can use graphs and graphical tools, but that's a little bit too advanced. So I will just leave this at just this kind of text, this kind of visual representation. But I can also add a history line to it with something called a Listbox. Okay, here. I can add a Listbox. Okay. I will name this, of course, L history. Okay. Then every time I increase the time, I'm going to add the time and the distance, okay, to the list box. So I can do it like this. L underline history dot items. Items are the things that are inside of the list box, are the entries inside of the list box. So I can add car1 dot distance. Okay, I can just add it like this. And what happens now is that if I have the speed, every time the distance is calculated, as you can see, it's added to the list box. Okay, so it's kind of like a history format kind of thingy. But of course, I don't want the data to be represented like this. Okay, so I am going to define here a public string history string, okay, and get what? Oh, sorry, I don't need to open and close that. I'm going to get this then, and I'm going to return time. Okay, I'm going to have the time. Then I'm going to have speed plus speed, and I'm going to also add distance, okay, and add the distance, okay. Of course, this is one way to do that, but there's also another way, which is a little bit nicer. It is with the string things, with the string substitution, with the format, okay? Which is basically you write it, okay? I think it was like this. No, I don't know how it was. It was with the ampersand, with the percentage sign, but I'm not so sure. Let's just look it up. String manipulation C#. Okay, what were the possibilities of this? There were some kind of things that was very nice. There was a function which was very nice. Instead of just adding it like this, you wrote it as a complete string, and then you kind of replaced a special sign with, I think, is it this one? No. There was a kind of, let me see if I can, here it is. Okay, system.string.format. I'm just going to write this. I'm going to write it like this, and whatever values I write after it will be replaced there, okay? So what I will have here, this line will be exactly the same as this line. I have string, no, it was the big string, dot format, okay? Then I have time 0, speed is then 1, and distance is then 2. Okay, then I'm going to write the arguments. I'm going to write all of the arguments. Okay, I'm going to have time. The first one is time. The next one is speed, and the next one is distance. Okay, so this will be the way. Okay, this should work. Okay. I'm going to actually leave it at this. I'm going to leave it with this format right now, okay, so that we can see if this works or not. So the 0 will be replaced with time, the 1 will be replaced with speed, and the 2 will be replaced with distance, okay. So here, instead of adding the distance, I'm going to write car1 dot history string will be added to the history list. Okay, so now I will leave it at 10. Okay, time 1, speed 10, distance 10. You see, this works. Okay, this completely works. Okay, as you can see, everything is working all right. I have my history. I have this list. Okay, now for example, I want it to go the other way, so that the last time will be added at the end, at the beginning. Then I have to use something differently. I have to use then the insert command. That insert. Okay. Then I have this, and the second value will be the I want the last time to become at the top of the list. That's why I'm using the insert. I'm going to start at the index 0. Now if I use the insert command with the index 0 and I add it, as you can see, the last time is shown at the top of the list. Okay, it is shown at the top of the list. Okay, now imagine if it is bigger than 10, I don't want to show more than 10 entries in the list. Okay, so I can do this. If L underline history, if L underline history dot items dot count, dot items dot count, okay, which shows me how many I have, is bigger or equal 10, okay, then I have to remove the last parts, the parts that are too much. Okay, I have to say, actually, even if it is 11, it should be alright. Okay, because I'm going to always I'm going to say if it is exactly 11, then il.history dot come on, history dot items dot remove dot remove, but I want to remove the last one. Remove, I have to give the object, I have to give the actual object of it. But remove at, I just need to give the index of it. So I'm going to say remove at, because it's much easier to work with the index than to know the actual value and try to remove the actual value of it. Okay, so what index do I want to delete? I want to delete the last one. So I have to say L underline history that items dot count -1. Okay, why -1? Because the count is how many entries there are, but the last index, because it starts from 0, will be everything -1. Okay, so now if I run the program, okay, now I am at 10. The next one, this one should be deleted. Okay, as you can see, now with this small program, I have only the last item, and as you can see, it just moves down also when I select it. Okay, so with this, I have this only limited to 10. Now, and that should be enough. I'm going to work on other things on the same program next time. I don't want this to be a little bit too long, so I'm going to wish you a very nice day. I hope you have enjoyed it. Please comment, please give me feedback, please share the stream if you like it. I really like your support. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And yeah, nothing more to say. So I wish you a very nice day. Omicini out.